This car was rear-ended and the quarter panel was damaged, but not quite as bad as the other side. Some of it came out while squaring up the rear end to fit the deck lid, but we still have a little ways to go. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the hammer and dolly and how they're used together. Generally, there's two ways that you're going to use the hammer and the dolly. One is hammer on and the other is hammer off. In this example, we're going to be using the hammer on dolly method. So we're just going to use this flat surface. You can use the round, flat, any part of the dolly you can use. And it is just a backing tool. It backs up your hammer. So we're going to use it hammer on. We're going to put the flat part back here and use it as an anvil. And so this is hammer on. And so now that we've flattened out that crease, we still have this crazy bend. But it's too big to use hammer on dolly anymore, so now we're going to use hammer off dolly. And that means the hammer over here and the dolly under here. So we're going to put the dolly under here and hammer off. Now, using those two methods, we can try to get this panel a little bit closer. So, I'm not sure if you can see this, but we have a little bit of a low spot right in here. So, you can see I'm pushing up on that low spot right in here. So, we're going to try to get right under that guy, and we're going to go around. This is hammer off. So, the dolly is right in the center, and I'm sort of hammering off of that dolly. So we're going to push up. First of all, get the hammer. And we're going to get in that low spot. And push up, and then hammer off. And I hit the dolly right there. So now we're going to go over here, and we're going around the dolly, but pushing up with some good pressure. And that brought that low spot up a bit. Now, an example of hammer on would be maybe these little sharp spots right here, or this guy. It's a very small area, and I'm going to put the dolly right on that guy. And now we can hammer on to flatten out this high point. And there's a little high spot right there that we can hammer out. And up here. Any really small spot that's very concentrated, you can hammer on. Any larger area, you're going to hammer off. And I'm using a variety of dollies just to try to get in there and get the exact shape that I want. That's hammer on, hammer on. One thing to keep in mind is hammer on dolly can smash the metal and expand it. Then you'll end up with a little bit of an oil canning situation. So you want to try to avoid consistent hammer on dolly method because you'll stretch the metal. One thing that's very important I'd like to share with you is that in all the body shops I've worked at, not once have I ever seen somebody do this with the hammer and dolly, prime it, and paint it. They'd get it as close as they could, fill in any low spots with filler, prime it, block it, and paint it. With the thicker metal of the 20s, 30s, and 40s, metal finishing was more common, as you could grind it and file it without worrying about taking too much off. After grinding it clean, you might believe that I metal finished it, or I was some kind of magician with the hammer and dolly. But I didn't metal finish it. I got it very close and will use filler and primer to make it perfect. I hope you enjoyed this video on the use of the hammer and dolly and a little bit on metal finishing. And if you did, and you'd like to get my latest videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.